The market has been a little choppy. Let's dig a little bit deeper to find out why and look at some historical numbers on this edition of the Video Market Update. So of course, this is not a video that is offering any recommendations. It's really just looking at where we have been in the stock market in the last 2 months and historically how that compares to the last few years. So I want to put up a few charts here from Bloomberg showing the S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrial, and the NASDAQ. But let's focus primarily on the S&P 500. So let's look at September and August, the last 2 months. We're down about 5% and 2% respectively. And you can see that as you go through the year, we were doing quite well, and then summer came and we kind of hit this bump in the road, and we gave up a decent amount of the returns for the year. What's interesting on these charts, and we'll focus on the S&P, is go back the last few years, all the way back to 2020, and you can see that August and September have presented challenges. So the question you might wonder is, well, then why are we actively invested in these months? Well, because being actively invested provides us the opportunity for greater returns long term. And just because the last few years these months have been bad does not mean that the next few years that same performance will come in August and September. So this is certainly looking in the rear view mirror. Now looking forward, you would say, well, the rest of the year, the fourth quarter, October, November, December, is not as predictive over the last few years of what months will be positive and what months will be negative. And so again, as long as your allocation is correct, and every person's is different, we can look and see, well, what do we expect based on past performance? Now, there's always the concerns that we have. What are interest rates going to do? What's unemployment going to do? How much is inflation going to continue to be painful? And how does that affect corporate earnings? But as we look backwards, we can see this trend line of August and September being quite challenging, but the next few months kind of being hit or miss. Some years this last quarter is good. Sometimes this last quarter is bad. We know in 2018, the fourth quarter was one of the worst fourth quarters in history. So we never really have a great indicator based on past performance, because past performance is not indicative of future returns, but it does help us to set what our expectations are moving forward, at least in the last few years. So I just thought I'd give you a quick reset, talk about August and September. We can come back with a greater third quarter review in the next few weeks. But for now, if you have any questions on this or anything you're seeing in the market, let me know. But if not, as always, I hope you make it a great week.